Aboru Aboye. So this morning, last night, I had a dream. And in this dream, I was somewhere like in Latin America or the Caribbean. And um, the dream was in one small place. I was at a spiral staircase. And, everything was painted, sort of a faded cantaloupe. It was like maybe it had started off with this orangish cantaloupe color, but it had faded over time, and there was little flecks in the paint. And there was this black metal handrail that went up the middle of the staircase, right? And it was a spiral. And there were a couple of other people on the steps ahead of me, right? So as I looked at the stairwell, I could see about three or four other figures, and somehow it was moving too. Like those rotating doors. Maybe if you go to a hotel or the airport and it has those rotating doors, you got to time it and walk into the doors without getting your luggage, snatched at the back. So I had to like time my approach and ascend the staircase, right? So I stepped onto the staircase and I took a couple steps, and there was a young guy in front of me, and it seemed like he had kind of like ginger. He was a ginger kind of a kid, young, looked like he was maybe a teenager. And I said, "Oh wow, I didn't think I was gonna make it. I don't know if I made it, And he's like, "No, no, you made it. You made it." And then he said something else to me. We started to chit chat. And as the stairwell rotated and we ascended, then I could see the other people like more closely. It was like, as it rotated, in our position shifted. Then we went face to face, or we were like 180 degrees from one another, different points. And at one point, there was a younger kid, and he says, "Yeah, as it spins, you ascend, but you never go to the same place twice." And in my mind, I was thinking, well, yeah, he's right in a way. You're never at the same level, right? So on the first rotation, you might have been on level one. By the second rotation, you might be on level three, right? But you do return to the same coordinates as before. And so, right, so it's like they say, a broke clock, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Because but it's a spiral. You understand what I'm saying? So because it's a spiral, you're going to a different place, but you're still at 12 o'clock, but you're on a different level. This is a poignant lesson. What it means is that, you know, the lessons are very few. There are a fixed number of lessons, and there are a fixed number of laws and principles that govern the universe. It's just that your vantage point changes, and your level of wisdom also changes, right? So you're going to, for example, encounter the law of reciprocity over and over and over. But the law of reciprocity looks very different for a 3-year-old than it does for a 30-year-old. It's the same law. You've got to just learn that law and apply that law in different ways at 30 than at 3, right? At 12 and at 42. It's the same lesson, but the application is radically different. Okay? The reason why I'm telling you this is because people commonly say the lesson is going to repeat itself until you learn it. And it sounds good. But what it does is it implies that at some point you're going to learn all the lessons and it's going to be over. And that's not what's going to happen, though. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that you're going to continue to become wiser and wiser and wiser and wiser. Because even if you learn theoretically all the lessons, then somewhere embedded in that is going to be the obligation to now teach the lessons. And when you go to teach the lessons, teaching them is an entirely different experience than learning them, because you're going to have to learn them again to teach them to all the different kinds of people that there are. So learning never ends. Learning never finishes. Being a grown up, being a mature person, means accepting the cyclical nature of reality, the eternal nature of reality. It doesn't end. You just get better. you just get deeper. You just get closer to the source. That is key to your happiness and your stability along the way. Aboro aboye, aboshishe.